Good morning, it's Cindy, and it's a beautiful day. And I wanted to share with you a short Monday school lesson before I head off and tackle some dragons. When I was a little girl, my dad was a journeyman carpenter, and he had a toolbox, a wooden toolbox that he had made. And I have memories as a child watching him pick up that toolbox and put it in the back of the truck and head off to whatever job he was working on. And that in that toolbox were the tools of his trade. And when I was a child, I loved to go out in the garage and sit on the steps of the garage and watch my dad work on different projects. What I really loved was going through his toolbox and pulling things out and using the level to check and things, see if things were level. And I'd use his square to measure stuff. And he was a relatively patient man, and periodically he would stop and tell me what that tool was for and how he used it in his day. So when I make reference to the tools in our toolbox, that's where that comes from. And when I share my Monday school lessons, I am hopeful that you view that as such, that I am sharing with you tools that I have placed in my toolbox along the way that I have picked up from a variety of sources, and some of them have been unpleasant and difficult places, helping things that have helped me in the hopes that I can help you. And so this morning I want to share with you a tool that someone placed in my hands about 25, 30 years ago. Before I came to Florence and I began doing what I do now, I worked in the field of drug and alcohol addiction. And it was a very meaningful period of my life. And I worked with a colleague there, a counselor who was a very gifted counselor in what we call the chair, the counselor's chair. And he had a tremendous set of tools that he shared with people who were suffering from addiction that they could put in their own toolboxes when they left treatment to learn new ways of managing continuing old problems. And at the time that I worked with him, I was going through a very difficult, painful, ugly end of marriage and divorce. And I knew that he was as well. He had experienced a tremendous heartbreak, a tremendous betrayal. It was extraordinarily painful and difficult. And it broke his heart. What it didn't do is it didn't break his spirit. He never once stopped being who he was. He continued to go sit in that chair and be the kind, compassionate, wise, firm counselor with tools to offer others. He continued to be who he was. And I asked him one day, how do you do this? How do you experience this level of hurt and betrayal? How are you able to be on the receiving end of such malicious, ugly behavior and still be you and not become bitter? And he said, I have a little mantra and I will share it with you. And you can do with it what you want. Well, what I did with it is I kept it. And I've used it often. I use it throughout my life in both personal and in business situations. Because people often will say things to you or do things to you that leave you speechless. You'll say, where did that come from? Did I hear what I just heard? Did they really say that to me? Sometimes people say and do things that alter our world and how we view it. This is the mantra that my friend used. This is how I've used it in my own life, and this is what I say. To no one in particular, just me. I'm the only one who hears it. And it goes something like this. Thank you. Thank you for showing me this aspect of your personality, your thoughts, who you are. Thank you for contributing to my education. I was lacking this information and I needed it. Thank you for contributing to my growing. As I move forward in life, I will use this information and not make the same mistake twice. Sometimes we have that information now in our possession and it changes how we interact with that individual. Sometimes it gives us greater understanding. Sometimes we have to make decisions where we distance ourselves from that person, or we choose not to share private and personal information with them because it's no longer, we now know, a safe place. However you choose to use that tool, I'm offering it to you with sincerity, without malice, no sarcasm. Truly, people do show us who they are in difficult life situations by how they respond to them. Thank them for contributing to your learning and to your growing. It's a beautiful Monday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to. Take care. Bye.